Not yet. Okay, now I had to reconnect my internet. Sorry about that. But here we are, live. And let me just go to the full start. We can see. So what's going on with Go? Here we are looking at XAU USD. And there's Alex. Good morning, Alex. How are you doing today? And we're looking at gold, XAU USD on the 10-minute time frame. And Singapore and Shanghai have just opened. And we've got a big bullish candle, the first one. Very big bullish candle, which is rather strange. We started out bearish overnight. You see the New York session here. The New York session went bearish. And so usually Asia will follow the same direction as the closing of the New York session. And they started out bearish, but then Australia started pushing the price up. And then Tokyo pushed it back down, and now we're going back up. So a lot of whipsaw action so far today. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you, Alex, for asking. And look at this very bullish candle here, right? So far. But we never do anything on the first candle. Never do anything on the first candle. And as you can see on the bottom of the screen there, this will be my last session for the Asia Pacific session. The last live YouTube for Asia Pacific session. And next Monday, on the 11th of May, I'll be starting a live Tokyo closing session. And that will be about 4.5 hours from now, or 12:30 Indochina time, just after noon. Indochina time is Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand. So just to keep everybody aware, today is the last Asian Pacific session. Well, we're really getting a big bullish candle here, man. This is amazing. I really kind of thought we might turn bearish. We have been bullish for 3 days, very bullish until last night in the New York session. And that's when over in the Middle East, they started shooting at each other again. And that kind of changed the scenario, at least during the New York session. Gold went bearish and oil started going back up. Well, this is a huge bullish candle. But for me, on my trendline strategy, as you know, I wait for that first candle to finish, and we have another 4 minutes on that candle. Wow, this is amazing. I don't chase the candles. But maybe I should have chased that one. Oh, goodness. That is really bullish, eh? Incredible. Do you have a trade open today, Alex? Yeah, maybe a trade open from yesterday, or you're taking a trade already today. It's very early for you there. You're in India, right? So it's very early for you over there. I think it would be about 6:30 in the morning. Very quiet in here today. Nobody joined in yet. Now another 1.5 minutes on this candle. But that's definitely very bullish. It looks like Asia wants to push the price up. We have our first resistance level there at 47.35. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my trend line. Maybe it won't go any higher than that. Let's see what it does. If that was to break above and close above the next candle, break above and close above, then I would go long and have my stop loss at about 46.99, or maybe a little bit lower than that, 46.95. Yeah. Now I have to wait for the next candle to close. Okay, you trade in the afternoon. So I guess you trade the London session, the London and the New York session, maybe. Yeah, Europe opens 1 hour before London, and sometimes you get good movement in there. And that's why I'm going to start doing the closing of the Tokyo just before London opens. And actually, they overlap. Uh, Tokyo is still open while London is open, and Tokyo is closing while London is opening. So you get a lot of volume there and some good movements. I can almost get a good trade every day during the Tokyo closing session. So that's just a little bit before Europe opens, and that'll be about 12:30 noon my time, which is about 4 hours and 20 minutes from now. For those of you watching, that would be 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's see here. might just close that for the time being. Maybe it's distracting. But those of you watching the recording, you can see that. So be sure and join me live on next Monday, uh, about 4 hours later than what we normally been doing. And so here we go. Just came up. Good move, good, very bullish move up. And now the next candle is just respecting that trend line. And looks like it might come back down. We don't know. Have to wait and see. Wait for the candle to finish. Now I have to wait for this candle to finish before I can take any kind of a trade. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't followed before, let me know where you're watching from. Be sure and click that like button. It does help the channel. And subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every time when I go live, which is every day, Monday to Friday. And next week it will be a little bit later in the day. I'll be doing the Tokyo closing session. So yesterday was kind of interesting. It was bullish all day long, as we can see here, bullish all day long until after the New York session started. Then they went bearish, and I think that's probably when in the Middle East they started shooting at each other. And if you check the headline news today, that's what's going on now. As we all know, as traders, that's what's driving the market, is the situation in the Middle East. And it changes from day to day. They don't seem to have a plan for what they're doing. They just wake up in a new world every day. They're going to bomb everything, and then they're going to have a ceasefire. They're not going to have a ceasefire. They're going to blockade the strait. They're not going to blockade the strait. They're going to escort ships out. They're not going to escort ships out. Every day is something different. I really don't. It doesn't seem like they have any kind of idea how to end the war. How to end the war. There was supposed to be some peace negotiations yesterday, I believe, but whether or not that's going to make any difference in the situation, we don't know. But it did last night. It did escalate with the Iranians and the Americans shooting at each other again. I don't know how serious it was, but it has affected the movement today, last night and today. That's what's driving the market, the situation in the Middle East. So this has respected the trend line and now starting to come back down a little bit, very slowly. And I can move my Asia high. So we have a new Asia high today. And the Asia low here. Not much difference between the low and the high, not just yet. This yellow line is the previous day low from yesterday. And up here, this yellow line is the previous day high from yesterday. So I'm kind of expecting to see lower prices today, but I don't know. We have to let the price tell us what it's going to do. I don't try and predict the market, but sometimes you kind of expect what might be going on and what you might expect to see. But anyway, you don't trade what you expect. You trade what the market is telling you it's doing. Good morning, Gigi. How are you today? Thank you for joining in. Don't forget to click that like button. It helps the channel. Oh, Alex, I don't want to get in on that. Everybody has different opinions about that. What I think about that doesn't matter. And we try to keep this, try to keep YouTube non-political as much as we can. But we do know that it's the Middle East geopolitical situation that is driving the market. And anybody will agree that it doesn't seem they have any kind of a very strong plan to end the war. And it changes from day to day. And that's why we get some bullish days and some bearish days. The price of oil is moving back up. It got down to, I think, 88 yesterday. But now the price of oil is going back up. So that tells you there's still a volatile situation in the Middle East. Well, yeah, it's respecting the trend line so far. That's at the high. This other candle hit 47.19. So yeah, I think actually later in the day, I think we'll see a break below this PDL, the previous day low. I think we're likely to go crashing through that. That's what I'm expecting. But just because I expect that, that doesn't mean the market will do that. The market doesn't do what we expect. The market doesn't care what I think. It doesn't care if I have a trade open or don't have a trade open, or it doesn't care. It just moves. The market just moves. Now still trying to push up a little bit after this big momentum candle. And we are above the pivot point for the day. And we're above, our pivot point is 4705, 4706. So staying above 4700, 4700 is a strong psychological level. And if it stays above that, then we could very easily go to higher prices. Oh boy, a little bit slow today. I'm very quiet in the group today. Not many people following. Oh, we got a few. If you're new to the channel, let me know where you're watching from. Just type in the comments below, please. I do appreciate that. If you want to follow me on my broker, I use Tickmill. And you can join my team on rickrayfx.com/Tickmill. They're a great broker, global, regulated, very strong, very reliable, good execution, good spreads. And if you want to find a good prop firm, I use Ola Prime. They have great promotions ever so often, and they have very good system, very fast payouts. They are very reliable, very strong. Ola Prime, rickrayfx.com/Ola, HOLA. And of course, if you want to check out more information about forex, go to my website, rickrayfx.com. Lots of information there about trading, prop firms, EAs, free indicators, free course too. Also, 10 video tutorial, absolutely free, no obligation. Now it's starting to come back down a little bit. Yeah, we got that the high of 47.19 so far today. Very quiet in the group. What's this SSE opening in minutes? What is SSE? SSE. No, Shanghai opened at 25 minutes ago. Shanghai opens at the same time as Singapore, 25 minutes ago. That's why I go live at the top of the hour. Shanghai is the same time as Singapore, same time as me. Well, Singapore and Shanghai are 1 hour ahead of me. So right now in Singapore and Shanghai, it's now 9:25 a.m. Where I am, it's 8:25 a.m. Very quiet this morning, eh? Very quiet. And this is one of the reasons I want to go to start doing live at the Tokyo closing session and just before London opens and when Europe opens, because you get a lot more volume, you get bigger moves, and the moves are more reliable. And we'll go back here on the chart and let's see. Yeah, like right here. This is the beginning of the closing session for Tokyo yesterday. And you see, you got a big bullish candle, a little bit sideways, and giant move up. These are the kind of moves you get with the closing session of Tokyo. And this one here, this is when London opens, and these kind of overlap. Tokyo is still open here the first couple of hours, but this is when Tokyo starts executing their orders, closing their orders, opening orders, and you get some good moves at that time. So that's what I'll be doing next week. We'll be watching that session. And maybe that'll be a little bit easier for you, Alex. You don't have to get up so early. So not much going on. We're going to start, it looks like, start to get some bearish movement here, but I cannot do anything. Move my trend line. There we go. It looks like if this comes down and breaks below the trend line and close below the trend line, then I will go short. And I would put my stop loss right about here at 47.22. But that's going to take some time for it to get down there. Ideally, I'd like to see it kind of work its way over here, and so I can have a tighter stop loss, because that would be a pretty big stop loss. That would be about a $20 stop loss. Well, I just typed in Google myself, and Shanghai is 1 hour ahead of me. It's now just about 9:30 a.m. in Shanghai. So the banks open at 9 o'clock. Oh, you think so? You mean the Shanghai banks, the central banks, the institutions, the traders? They open 30 minutes after Singapore. Singapore is the same time zone as Shanghai. I just Googled it. Oh, the Shanghai stock market. Oh, okay. Yeah, you could be right about that. That's like in New York, the Wall Street opens on the half hour. They open at 8:30. They open at 9:30 in New York, 9:30 a.m. in New York. So they open at the half hour. So yeah, you could be right there, Alex, about the Shanghai stock market. That's probably correct. But I don't care too much about the stock market in any part of the world. The stock market is not the economy. Although you do, that's when you get a lot of traders come in A lot of the institutions start trading. That's absolutely right. But you see, over here on my watch list, I don't have anything. I have occasionally I'll look at the Dow Jones or the S&P 500 just to see what's going on. That's all. But I'm not interested in what they're doing really, because the stock market is not the economy. And the dollar, what's the dollar's coming back up a little bit today, and oil is coming up a little bit today. So there's a lot of indecision so far, although we've had a bullish move up. And you know what it could be? It could be the big players. They're going to wait for the non-farm payrolls, which is tonight, 1 hour before Wall Street opens. That's the non-farm payrolls, the most highly watched news impact item for forex traders. That's tonight. And if the actual is greater than forecast, that's good for the currency. And the situation is the forecast is very low for the non-farm payrolls. The forecast is very low. So it's likely that the actual will be greater than the forecast. And that will put pressure on gold. That will be good for the US dollar, and that will put pressure on gold. I don't trade during the non-farm payrolls. It's very, very volatile. Just sit back and watch the fireworks. Now we're getting some more downward movement here, eh? Okay, guys, Alex, and anybody else that's watching, I'm going to go ahead and sign out for today. It's a very slow action, not much going on. And I just say TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. And I hope you have a great weekend wherever you are in the world. I wish you all the best with your trading today. And just remember that I'll be back on Monday, and I'll be here Monday to Friday, but I will be starting the live Tokyo closing session. And that's at 12:30 p.m. Indochina time, Southeast Asia, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam time. Okay? All right. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next week.